Ow! Ow! That was right in the thigh!
Yeah. Yeah. I felt,
Whoa, animation! Animation!
Oh my god. Impact frames.
Voltage Nova!
Oh, that's,
Hey, yo!
God,
Obi's right there!
if I was Obi, I'm like, hey, get me out of here! It's not fair. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Vontae the First, the day portion of Mugen Eclipse.
And it's me, Mr. 3. I mean Mr. Twitchy, the night portion of Mugen Eclipse, because today we're back with Season 3, Episode 3 of Fire Force.
So, what happened last episode?
Relatively, we're on the run. Oh, we have to team up against the government because they've teamed up with the Evangelist and aka the White Clad. And lo and behold, we have a senpai who is on the outside and has been on the outside of society for quite some time. Ironic, given the fact that we just recorded Vigilantes, My Hero Academia, but I am speaking to none other than Mr. Joker himself. So him and Leaked both had a, let's just call it a constructive arrangement to where they were both agreed to be outcast on the outside of society because they were cast away by said society. And then we go to their little underground base as we prepare to rescue Captain Obi. Now, at the very beginning of the episode, the reason why we have to put a little pep in our step, or a pep in our feet in Shinra's case, is because he had an Adola link. Wow, that's kind of redundant. With Captain Burns, and he realized that they were going to turn Captain Obi into an infernal by putting one of those little bugs into his body. And who was going to do that? Miss Gold. I don't know if I can get a read on her. Her hips are very hourglass-ish, but I don't know. I don't like the way she's talking. On the crazy to hot scale, that's a 50-50 chance for me personally. No, but jokes aside, they bust up through the ground, and then the rest of the crew will follow up with Shinra and Joker, who went ahead into the home base where they are keeping Captain Obi. So it's time to save him. And other than that, just a little bit of foreshadowing in the previous episode with Arthur. If you know, you know. Yeah, that pretty much it. Last episode.
Dark Hero. We're working with the Dark Heroes right now with Joker and Leaked. It was cool because we got some foreshadowing. Like, he literally was calling out to Shinra Joker, that is early on in season 1 of Fire Force. So
yes,
he's always wanted them to be on their side, and we're finally here working with them. And I like that last line where he was like, all right, time to play a hero. And Shinra was like, I ain't playing. I am a hero. Gotta love it. Gotta love it with Shinra. He is a true hero. But that being said, man, you guys know the drill. Like the video. Subscribe to your boys, man. Roll it to 1K. And let's hop into Fire Force Season 3, Episode 3. Right about now.
Now, whatever you do, don't push this button.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone!
Imagine the anxiety in this world, man. Fuck that. GG's.
I was gonna say, it's not like you're immortal and then you get that taken away by spontaneous combustion. No, there's still illness, there's still death from old age, injury, malnutrition.
Man.
Oh, they're terrorists.
I just fucking hope that I'm a fire user, man. Love this
yes,
man.
this
He is one of my
OST
goats
too.
right now. Yeah.
Hey, in true shonen fashion, we have to punch God in the face.
Also, like Leak's voice actor, I think that was a perfect cast and his perfect
Absolutely.
delivery for him. I ain't gonna lie, the White Clad, they be having some baddies with them. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Yeah. Really makes you think about that scale I was
Bruh.
talking about earlier.
Captain Obi.
Oh, yes, it's opening. Oh yeah, a thought I had the other day while I was watching this music video for the umpteenth time is that I think there was a city level event that burned up the citizens. I feel like the nuclear reactor might have went off, and then this was the end result of the arc.
I also really like the idea with Shinra fire feet. Like, that's just cool as hell. Anything with feet, like kicking and
Yeah,
always cool.
everything in their mother is punching. Raising.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Which is funny. It's kind of like the same as like fire, like how fire is a very overused power in series.
Not
and
in
then
this
punching
show.
is also overused power.
It is
Shinra's
the
like,
exact opposite in this show.
yeah. I'm gonna give props to Okubo for that though. That's pretty bold to make a series all fire when people are kind of like,
Did they move
you
Obi?
know, tired of it. Strap them to something at the end of the episode. Oh my! Look at this horror farmer.
人生のすべてを神に捧げることを使命として生きてきた。
Was it the same god? I mean,
I don't know. The way that he was specifying, it makes it seem like the evangelist became the personification of God
exactly.
in that moment.
That's the thing. Like he was praying to Soul, and then when he found out, wait,
Oh, is that
I guess
old
the
lady
evangelist
the
is
god? I just had an idea.
so it's like if you praying to a god your whole life, and then like the quote unquote actual god comes out, and like, oh shit, principles and the discipline that I had for that one, I guess I carry it over to this one. Fuck it.
And you have the two sides of the same coin. Joker experienced the same thing and went down a different path.
But
No,
like,
it's the
why
end
though?
of me. What? That's what I care about.
Exactly. If we was in the series, that's exactly what we was saying.
They'll be
like,
returned to the sun.
But why we gotta do all that though? If you regenerate, what's the point? I want to be like, why I gotta die? And then what you talking about?
Do you not see the circular aspect of your logic?
And then he responds to you, well, yeah, what's the point? But hey, don't use that against me.
All right, Shinra, I would have took a moment to think about that. Unaffected. I forget, what was his firepower again? Just literally aura?
Pretty much. He like coats himself. Yeah. Hey.
Whoa. Oh, okay.
God
Okay. Okay. Ow. Ow. That was right in the thigh.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt.
Whoa.
Oh,
Animation. Animation.
Oh my God. Impact frames.
Voltage Nova.
Oh, that's,
Hey, yo.
God,
Obi's right there.
if I was Obi, I'm like, hey, get me out of here. It's not fair.
He's literally going to turn into an infernal in this rate.
All right. Bro, about to turn to the sun. What are you doing? Oh my God. Stage 1. He said, burning finger number 1. Thingy Basby. Okay, you doing this. Yeah, damn. Damn.
Where's she going?
I was just about to say, Hameya. I knew he was going to say it. That boy Kareem, he just been so goddamn mad. I feel him though. I agree. But I get it though. If it is your captain and his burns out of all people, you be like, okay, he must, you know, there must be obviously a good reason. What are you talking about?
They did not leave his ass behind. Oh my
This
God.
Why does he always fall out of goddamn
Oh my
shit?
God.
This happens
Did
all the
no
time.
one realize anything? This is like Zoro in every arc. We have to put him
Literally.
off to the side because otherwise he'd be too much of a problem. I'd actually be more unsettled by you breaking the rules. If you told me to just be a rebel,
You
I'd
know
be
what?
fine. But like, don't tell me to stand in the in the moving vehicle.
You know the type of person I feel like the moment that he retired, his heart would just stop and he'd just die. Cause like he's always on it with his job or any duty that he has. Like Iris, yeah. Go out there and pray.
Freaking Arthur, man.
Here she go again with this
You got haze in your eyeball.
ciphering pi, huh? You know that feeling that we all were getting from One Piece chapter 1138? Like, damn, this feels like biblical. This series gets to that bigger than what this series is, you know?
Yeah, it almost feels like two
What are we
series.
getting into? Yeah. I actually don't really remember where the insects derive from, but I assume it's from like the ashes of the world of the past, and like the bugs are like have like ash and flame within them or something. You know how like roaches can survive a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Kind of thought about that with the insects.
I mean, they'll still be on the sun. I mean, the Earth after all this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Oh!
Oh, that was clean.
Or we'll just come in through the front door.
いい振りだったぞゴールド
She
Shut up.
did not have any part in that.
She was just quiet when you said that. She didn't even say shit. Especially knowing that these guys were just dead serious and not like joking. But that was kind of
お前を
comedic.
前面にして様子を見る
No,
I didn't even check.
Where's Arthur now?
Why
Yeah.
don't y'all ever check?
Dummies.
ずいぶん見てない気がする。
What are you doing?
チャチン。
Cha-ching.
朝も大体情報なしで前衛は誰がやるんですか。一刻も早く。
Sound design. Thank you.
リヒト視界はクリアか見えてるか
上からなら当たると。
Oh, power that up.
タヌキとにかくその場から行け
Wait,
That was a good way to confirm if she had a shield or not.
マキ掌握しろ
だが無駄だ。
What?
What the fuck?
Does she have magnetic powers?
Seems like it.
対処できまい。
What?
Electromagnetic.
Okay,
Here you
oral
go, oral
farmer.
farmer.
Come on.
Burns the oral farmer.
Stage 2.
Stage 2.
解明に入りやがって
なんだ。金の相談か。
Yes.
買収しようとしても無駄だ。金の切れ目が運の切れ目。
Makes you think if she was around back then, people probably begged her like, "I'll pay you money if you save me." No.
何人来ようが関係ない。
Ugh.
I love how this one comes on. So subtle. Arthur, my guy.
Bruh.
What do you think about to happen with him?
He's randomly gonna show up and save the day. Like he always does.
Yeah, so Joker and Shinra versus Burns. He's in stage 2 right now. Chill out, literally. Chill out, Burns.
I'm
Yeah,
sweating.
living up to that name, huh?
It's warm in here,
Yeah.
but I'm sweating. This was an intense episode, start to finish. I love how Fire Force just overall as a series introduces a singular gag. They don't overdo it in any particular episode that I can remember, to where you will have a very serious tone throughout 95%, but that 5% that you do a comedic gag, it just hits so much harder because
Yes.
you're so in the mood, in the zone, whatever you want to say, of what's going on with the story. And then all of a sudden, Arthur's a dropped watermelon outside the back of the truck. Like, boy, what?
She didn't like with Gold when she didn't like respond. They're like, "Oh yeah, you set this up." She was just quiet. It was funny because it wasn't like drawn as comedic, but you could just tell by the silence that
It was a
didn't think
comedic
of that shit.
scene
It's a
because she didn't
Kinemon
say anything.
meme.
Kinemon, I totally planned this. I didn't plan any of this.
I didn't think of this shit. She worried about Obi and the insect. She was not fixated on that. Yeah, this episode we're moving to some places, man. Once again, I'm a manga reader. Twitchy is blind to this. So we get into some places. If you know, you know, man. If you know, you know. But yeah, Fire Force, it has obviously a lot of mystery behind it when it comes to like the god, the evangelists and whatnot. And then what's going on with Haumea in the room? Why does she keep going through these things where she's like crying and sobbing? Like kind of mental turmoil is going on in her head, or is she seeing something, or what's going on with her? And then with the moon and the sun, and it's just bigger than what we've been told so far, you know.
That is an interesting idea that I just had, and I will share with the class. So when Haumea was looking up at both the sun and the moon, that moon obviously had a sinister smile about it. And the proclaimed goal of the evangelist is to turn the earth into a second sun, obviously implying that there was a sun, our sun, that preceded it. But what if that always wasn't the case? What if that other planet was Earth, and then this used to be the sun, but there was some sort of reversal of sorts? And this is the process whereby we can put out the eternally suffering Mother Earth that is our sun currently by turning this planet into the rightful place in the universe as the solar body. that might be a little bit too aluminum foil brained, but I don't know. It's just a cool
Hey,
little
man.
thought that I had.
Trying to do something. As you've seen Yono saying, we're still trying to decipher pi. Y'all still trying to decipher
That
it
was
and
my
become part
attempt.
of
That was
God's
my
side?
attempt.
What are you doing? What y'all doing, man? What y'all got going on? Okubo he has a very interesting mind. It's like, so some series that we cover on our channel manga wise. I've always said Fire Force and even Soul Eater, because same mangaka, I was always read that. Those series, they remind me a lot of Dandadan and Undead. I guess that's one reason why I like those series so much too. And if you have not read or watched Dandadan or Undead Unluck, please do. They're both really great. But it's a lot of similarities in between the series. Like just the concept, obviously alone, is different from other series, but also the philosophies. And when it gets to like deities and all that kind of stuff, and like the planets being seen as God or whatever, whether it's like the sun or the moon, there's always something interesting there that's fun, because even in our history in real life, like you had different civilizations that worship the sun or worship the moon as gods. So it's something that we all kind of know of, and it's cool to see how they can apply it to their own series, and then the end result is always really fun too. Yeah, so what you think is going to happen next episode? You think any reinforcements are going to come in to help us, or
we did see my favorite not Boa clone doing some research on her own, and it all related back to the chapel that her and Iris grew up with. So potentially there might be some sort of plot line with her researching in the background to where she can find out the origin of these bugs that turn people into infernals. And whenever you can find the origin of something, and I would consider those bugs somewhat of a parasite in a loose sense, in terms of you can find a cure most times if you find out where they came from and what was their original environment, because that way you can think of counters. That way you can think of possibly of ways to reverse or to possibly block said bite from infernal bug. And I don't know if that's going to help Obi, if Obi will actually be turned into an infernal, and then she comes in, da 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 da, I've got the cure. All you have to do is have
Tamayo.
Tamayo, yes.
Like Tamayo.
That's a good comp. And she just comes in with the solution of what to do. And I could see us actually fighting the infernal that is Captain Obi, and just about as we're about to cut his head off, or maybe Shinra do that foot press into his chest, that's when she saves the day. And I feel like, much like the one time that Luffy ever acknowledged Boa and called her by name, she just completely broke down in exhilaration. Implications are there, of course, but I could see something happen like that in Fire Force. I always love when mangaka reference certain similar characters in their series to other works in the medium. So that's one thing that could happen there. Haumea, I feel like at the moment she is the one character outside of Benimaru that I really can't predict what's going to happen with those two in the immediate future. I know they're going to play a role in the final saga, but she even said if Burns didn't willingly convert to the evangelist, that she would have just brainwashed him. She had a backup plan, but she is suffering. Personally, like physically, emotionally, mentally suffering, possibly spiritually, because of this. I don't know if it's a symptom of her power or a setback of her power, or if this is a direct connection and a result of said direct connection with the evangelist that is causing her this trauma. She is she's drooling out of her mouth and out of her nose. That's got to be painful.
Something else too? A lot of people haven't questioned, in terms of all the pillars, she's the one that's closest to the evangelist. Why exactly is that the case? What's the point of that? Why is she the one that's like the messenger and the one that's doing all this stuff? How did she become the person for that job while everybody else were just collecting them and then brainwashing them or whatever we're doing with them? That's also something to think about too, based off of how she's been moving, the things that she's been saying, powers and abilities that she's been granted for her whole talking hit, where she's able to read minds. So it's a lot of interesting things with her character, but a lot of mystery as well. So like you said, she is definitely one of those characters you can't get a read on. Like, even when I was reading the series, I'm like, don't really know what is the deal with her. It's like you could think of some things, but it's like I don't know where are things going with that. So it's always something that to look forward to.
Yeah, outside of that, I don't really have a lot of predictions for the near future. I think Arthur will eventually come back. He's on his escapade of Zorro. He'll come back when the night is darkest and the world needs a bright holy knight to enter the fray. No, not a holy knight. I'm sorry. Wrong series.
All right, you guys know the drill, man. Like the video if you rock with Fire Force, any content that we got on the channel. And subscribe to your boys, man. Road to 1K once again. We're here every week with Fire Force and Vigilantes, Haikyuu as well. And then we have Dandadan Manga. We finally caught up with that. And we got Chainsaw Man coming up really, really soon. So if you are a fan of any of those things that we said, we have more content too. So pull up on the channel, subscribe, stay tuned for all that stuff. But with that being said, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. See you guys on the next video or stream. And
Peace.
peace.